On the 25th of February 1947, representatives of the Allied occupation authorities in Berlin signed a law abolishing the state of Prussia. From this moment onward, Prussia belonged to history. The Prussian state, which from early days has been a bearer of militarism and reaction in Germany, has, de facto, ceased to exist. Guided by the interests of preservation of peace and security of peoples, and with a desire to assure further reconstruction of the political life of Germany on a democratic basis, the Control Council enacts as follows. Article 1. The Prussian state, together with its central government and all its agencies, is abolished. Law No. 46 of the Allied Control Council was more than an administrative act. In expunging Prussia from the map of Europe, the Allied authorities also passed judgment upon it. Prussia was not just one German territory among others, on a par with Baden, Württemberg, Bavaria, or Saxony. It was the very source of the German melees that had afflicted Europe. It was the reason why Germany had turned from the path of peace and political modernity. The core of Germany is Prussia, Churchill told the British Parliament on the 21st of September 1943. There is the source of the recurring pestilence. The excision of Prussia from the political map of Europe was thus a symbolic necessity. Its history had become a nightmare that weighed upon the minds of the living. The burden of that ignominious termination presses on the subject matter of this book. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, the history of Prussia had been painted in mainly positive tones. The Protestant historians of the Prussian school celebrated the Prussian state as a vehicle of rational administration and progress, and the liberator of Protestant Germany from the toils of Habsburg Austria and Bonapartist France. They saw in the Prussian-dominated nation-state founded in 1871 the natural, inevitable, and best outcome of Germany's historical evolution since the Reformation. This rosy view of the Prussian tradition faded after 1945, when the criminality of the Nazi regime cast its long shadows over the German past. Nazism, one prominent historian argued, was no accident, but rather the acute symptom of a chronic Prussian infirmity. The Austrian Adolf Hitler was an elective Prussian in his mentality. The view gained ground that German history in the modern era had failed to follow the normal, i.e. British, American or West European route to a relatively liberal and untroubled political maturity. Whereas the power of traditional elites and political institutions had been broken in France, Britain and the Netherlands by the bourgeois revolutions, so the argument ran, this had never been achieved in Germany. Instead, Germany followed a special path, Sonderweg, that culminated in 12 years of Nazi dictatorship.